A very good morning, good evening, good day, ladies and gentlemen. As I just returned home, it is now 5:06, as I had a lovely piece of fried ripe plantain with a large cup of cane juice, freshly squeezed from my little mill and in my little cane farm in my compound. Friends and family, is nothing like some tropical snack to keep you refreshed and joyful and give you some natural energies here in beautiful, tropical Guyana, dear beloved, divine friends and families. For your information, once again, your brother me, Haji, Dr. Roshan Khan, in the raw, RKU's Guyana Free Media, giving you an update while I relax. As you know, most of you, I do not like to not do anything. The brains have to do something constructive, whether it's meditation even, while it appears I'm relaxing. And as I'm reflecting upon the misery that our country is in, the 5 months of madness we went through, the destruction of lives, property, the chopping of people in the quarantine, the raping of two 16-year-old girls, the lives damaged, destroyed in a community where it is embarrassing to report and to try to identify people during the madness that transpired in the West Coast Berbice. What a terrible, painful thing, and those who were complicit or encouraged it, at least in my opinion, by saying that their action was right, or words to that effect, gave pluck to mayhem, murder, burning, looting, destruction, torment, hell, so to say, in people's life. Vehicles burnt, homes burnt, businesses burnt, people's trucks, lorry value $20 million, burnt to the ground, ladies and gentlemen. Until now, an order has not been passed to stop it. It only stopped that madness in the West Coast Berbice because of President Dr. Irfan Ali's and what he's already working on for the United Nations and CARICOM to conduct an international criminal inquiries to bring to justice those who perpetuated and encouraged the madness. Friends and families, our RK's Guyana Free Media in the raw will now visit the Kaieteur news of today, Monday, September 21st, 2020. And the topic is Patterson challenges the PPP government to stop chirping and get a better oil deal. When they put our neck in the guillotine, and the guillotine blade dropped and chop our head off, now they are challenging the PPC government to stop chirping, while some of them, and the man who signed the deal, was drinking champagne at the best of food in Texas, comfort, and had the biggest wedding in the history of the Caribbean in Grenada, friends and families. But I will go to the article at this juncture and see what Mr. Patterson had to say. AFC MP David Patterson. Alliance for Change AFC Member of Parliament David Patterson is now challenging the Irfan Ali administration to renegotiate the Stopbrook Block Agreement with ExxonMobil. I was asking what were they doing when they were saying it was a good deal. Were they bereft of intelligence? Did they lost their senses? Was the power and the glory of squandermania of the taxpayers' dollars and paying legal fees and giving contracts to their friends and families, like how they give Mr. London of Miramar, Florida, a contract to print birth certificates, denying our local printers, even the Guyana printers, an opportunity to make some money in Guyana. Anyhow, let's go to the article, right? During his address to Parliament on Thursday, the Shadow Oil Minister reminded that the People's Progressive Party, Civic, has repeatedly promised throughout its election campaign to renegotiate contracts in the oil sector. Well, that is true. They said that, and they are working on it. And there is some battle taking place. But we have to give Dr. Barajagdev, who is truly responsible for this aspect of the oil and gas reality. And don't forget, this is RK's Guyana Free Media, and I'm your host, Dr. Haji Roshan Khan, in the Raw. Back to the article. It is well within their right as the sitting government to do as promised. Patterson stated they have been chirping for more than 3 years, that there is a better deal to be had. Well, there is. Go get it. He added that the opposition will not stand in the way of any process that will bring additional benefit to the people of Guyana. Local press has shed light over the years on various aspects of the contract with ExxonMobil, Hess, and CNOOC, which have been criticized as illegal, unfair, and or lopsided. So now they're saying they will not object, and technically they will be happy if the government could renegotiate the contract to bring benefits to the Guyanese people. But I would like to ask, when they were in power, were they bereft of negotiating skills? They could have appointed Dr. Barajagdev to do the job for them. Anyhow, let's go. And I like things like that, when they could, when a government could take on somebody from the opposition to do a job, showing coordination, charisma, great leadership, and skills. Back to the article. Most daunting was recent news that Guyana's Suriname neighbor to the east will take home 36% of the revenue from the petroleum of oil out of its lucrative Block 58. So Suriname is beating us and mashing us up with their 1.5 or 1.6 billion barrel of oil, when we have about 9, which will go maybe to about 20 in time as we proceed. He thinks the contract will bring tremendous benefit to Guyana. It is the opposition's belief, according to Patterson, that the contract signed in 2016 was a vastly improved one when compared to the 1999 agreement signed by the PPC. 1999 was a different time, man. Different time. And now Patterson is chirping on what is not too wise or sensible. But let's go on. I personally don't have a problem if they could cooperate and work together to bring Guyana. But how can the government trust them after all they did, and after Patterson's own pronouncements, and even Lincoln Lewis's, who is now sweetening up himself in the media to look good, to try to cakewalk himself into prosperity after what he did to the people of Guyana during the election saga. Back to the article. The Vice President Barajagdev had said during his time as opposition leader that the contract is poor. He said that it was necessary for the 1999 contract to give ExxonMobil generous terms because there was no indication that Guyana offshore was so lucrative. So nobody knew these things. Only who knew this was ExxonMobil, that the oil was so lucrative, so they tied us up. But in 1999 is a long way off from 2020, ladies and gentlemen. Back to the article. He said that for the 2016 contract, however, there can be no excuse for the poor terms when the APNU AFC government knew what was down there in the earth. That's why I like Burnham. Forbes Burnham, and I think Dr. Chetty Jagan also would have said, we get 50 or 51% or leave it right there in the earth. That was a strong man and a strong mind of Forbes Burnham. Back to the article. The renewed contract moved the royalty from 1% to 2% among some marginal changes. Despite accepting that the contract is poor, Jagdeo has said that the PPPC will not renegotiate the deal. That is not true. He said, Jagdeo says the renegotiation is necessary. And this guy sure knows. I don't know if it's a bit of propaganda or is the views given by AFC MP David Patterson that put that down there, but Dr. Jagdev has claimed the contract has to be renegotiated. Friends and families, brothers and sisters, again I'm saying we as a people must think of peace, love, goodwill and harmony. Think of joy, think of unity, think of cooperation. And for those people who raped, murdered, beat, harassed, chopped, robbed people in the west coast of Berbice for nothing at all, except for the suggestion, smartly veiled, for them to continue with the mayhem until today, they have not even apologized or tried to correct it, that they will have to be penalized by man and by God. However, we must work for peace, goodwill as a people, hand in hand, to bring joy and cooperate and respect each other, and not allow any politician who will put you, the people, to do wrong things, and they themselves will be hiding in their palace, and causing you to be jailed, you to be exposed, and to putting you and possibly your life in danger. Don't follow any politician that will not stay with you. And I know the guys who do these kinds of things will not like me for saying this. For the APNO AFC at this time, I have to encourage you to listen to Volder Lawrence, my good friend for many years, who has now reawoken after the political madness, and also Attorney at Law James Anthony Bond for talking some sense and some wisdom. Friends and family, your brother, me, Haji Dr. Roshan Khan, in the raw. RK's Guyana Free Media saying thank you and farewell, friends.